if you're a gal with relaxed hair, you've probably heard about relaxer stretching, and you may have even tried it yourself, and you may or may not have had good results. If you didn't have good results, don't worry. I've even been in that situation when I first started stretching my relaxers. But for my good and bad experiences, I've been able to compile a list of tips that have helped me stretch my relaxers 10, 12, even up to 18 weeks. Hi, I'm Leah from the Relaxed Gal Beauty channel, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you my tips for having a successful relaxer stretch. Before we dive into the tips, let me back up and actually explain what relaxer stretching actually is. Simply put, relaxer stretching is going more than 6 weeks between your relaxer touch-ups, hence the term relaxer stretching. I stretch my relaxers about 12 weeks, so I go 12 weeks between one relaxer and the other. When you stretch your relaxers, it just makes it easier to see what's called the line of demarcation, which is the transition line between your relaxed hair and your natural hair. And because you're able to see this line of demarcation a lot more easily, you can tell what hair is ready or does not have relaxer already applied to it. And this will help you avoid relaxer overlap. Now, relaxer overlap, I'm throwing out a lot of terms, is when you are relaxing a section of hair over and over again, whether it's on purpose or inadvertently. And when you do that, it weakens the hair strands even more, so then they're more prone to breakage. So as I mentioned before, I now go about 12 weeks between my relaxer stretches. And honestly, I used to go like 5, sometimes 4, a lot of times 6 weeks between my relaxers. It is no wonder that I was having hair issues. But then I started going longer between my relaxer touch-ups. So I started going like 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, even made it up to 18 weeks. So you can only imagine where I was going from like at a minimum of 4 weeks to like 18 weeks between relaxers. My stretches were challenging to say the least. But the good thing is, from each of these different stretches, I've learned different things that work for my hair, and so I've compiled some tips that I want to share with you that will hopefully make your next relaxer stretch and even your future ones easier than they have been. Tip number 1 is to make sure that you fully detangle your hair. And I'm talking like going through with your fingers first and thoroughly detangling and then following up with a comb. And I will do this not necessarily every day, but I do it pretty much almost every other day just to make sure that I don't end up with really matted or tangled hair at the end of the week when I'm ready to wash my hair, because at that point it's just harder and it takes longer to get the tangles out. My second tip is to make sure that you regularly cleanse your hair. And I'm talking not just your hair, I'm talking your scalp, just making sure everything is nice and clean and you're giving yourself a clean palette to work with on a regular basis, whether that's once a week or every 10 days, whatever works for your hair. I would even sometimes co-wash my hair, and so I would alternate between co-washing and using shampoo, because the co-wash would give my hair an extra boost of moisture, which it tends to need when I'm relaxer stretching. Tip number 3 is to deep condition your hair. I deep condition my hair pretty much every week. If you've watched any of my other videos, if you've looked at my blog, relaxedgal.com, you'll have seen that pop up. I like to deep condition when I am relaxer stretching because it helps to keep my hair soft and supple. I also pay a lot of attention to that line of demarcation because it's really prone to breakage. So I want to make sure that it's not dry and I'm making it even more prone to breakage than it already is. Tip number 4 is to moisturize your hair often. I like to moisturize my hair pretty much almost every day when I'm relaxer stretching because my hair tends to feel drier during my stretches. And so I will not just moisturize with a leave-in conditioner, and I like to use a nice thick leave-in conditioner, but I also will seal with something like a natural oil, like sunflower oil. And if you want to see more about how I moisturize and seal my hair, I've got another video about that, so you can check it out using the link in the description box below. Tip number 5 is to incorporate protein. So sometimes you have to balance that moisture with protein. And also, by having protein as part of my regimen when I am relaxer stretching, it helps to strengthen my hair. So when I apply protein products, I don't usually pay attention to the new growth area. I pay attention to the line of demarcation down, making sure, because that's the processed hair, making sure that that hair is strong and I'm keeping it as healthy as I can. Tip number 6 is whenever I am doing anything with my hair, during a relaxer stretch, I work in sections. So I will take sections of hair like this, and I will either detangle, or I will moisturize and seal, or I will apply my deep conditioner. Everything I do pretty much with my hair is in sections. It just helps me to be more patient with my hair and to make sure I'm more thorough with whatever it is that I'm doing. So tip number 7, you might be confused about, because it is manipulate your hair less. And you're probably thinking, but you just told me to do all this stuff with my hair. Why are you telling me to like now not touch it, essentially? Well, okay, I'm not really telling you not to touch your hair. I'm really just telling you to touch your hair less. So I mean, you don't need to do all these crazy styles with your hair when you're relaxer stretching. I tend to be very simple, where I may wear it down. Sometimes I may wear buns and ponytails, and I may wear the same style like 2 days in a row. I don't like necessarily comb my hair every day, even though I do detangle. I do it with my fingers most of the time when I do the detangling every day or every other day. So really just be gentle with your hair and don't spend a lot of time overdoing it, because the more you manipulate your hair, the more likely you are to cause breakage. Tip number 8 is to wrap your hair at night. I like to wrap my hair every night when I'm relaxer stretching, and not just so that I have a good looking hair as soon as I wake up, but so that it keeps my hair in place at night when I'm sleeping and tossing and turning. Because if I'm tossing and turning and my hair is just loose and all over the place, it's causing friction in my hair, which then can lead to breakage. So wrapping it at night keeps it nice and protected. It also helps keep in the moisture that I may have applied with my leave-in conditioner when I'm moisturized and sealed right before bed. Tip number 9 is to simply just overall listen to your hair. Your hair will tell you what it needs, how much it needs, and when it needs it. I mean, my hair tells me all the time when I need to wash it, when I need to use protein instead of moisture. It even told me that, hey, you don't need to go any longer than 12 weeks when you're stretching your relaxer. And so that's why I go 12 weeks. So just listen to your hair. It will help you through your relaxer stretches. And last but not least, tip number 10 is to be patient. Okay, it's particularly if you're starting a relaxer stretch and you're just now going like a week longer than you usually do, it can feel pretty daunting and you can get pretty frustrated. I know I did. And sometimes I even still get frustrated when I'm like pretty much at like 9 weeks. And you might start to rush things, or you might take shortcuts, or not even apply certain products that you typically would that would help your hair. Just slow down, be patient, and take it one step at a time. That is the biggest and probably most important tip of relaxer stretching. And there you have it, my 10 tips for a successful relaxer stretch. Hopefully one or all or some of these tips will be helpful for you during your next relaxer stretch. And if you liked this video or found it helpful, please like it below and please share it with your friends. Thank you for watching the Relax Girl Beauty channel, and I will see you in my next video.